Everyone shows you the PNL, but nobody shows you the reality, the discipline, the routine, the late nights, and the mental game. This is for the traders who know the charts are only half the battle. Welcome to the Wednesday Beyond PNL show.
Hello guys, hello everyone. Hope you're doing fantastic midweek. Today I'm joined by Luqman, one of our UK-based traders. Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. How about yourself, Jake?
Can't complain, everything's all right. Guys in the chat, during these live streams, feel free to leave any questions you have in the chat. Maybe from the start, let me just remind people that we also run the giveaway. So if you are on the stream, just leave a message in the live chat. We collect all the people who are in the live chat at the very end after we finish our discussion. Then I will collect and choose 5 random winners. From the very start, Lukeman, can you give us a few words about you, introduce yourself? How long have you been trading?
Yeah, sure. So I've been trading live for around 6 years now, but my trading journey started a couple of years even before that. I was still at university when I was first introduced to trading, and at the time, as you can imagine, I didn't really know what I was doing. Just jumping on a
Yeah.
few trades and making a little bit of money and then losing it all, blowing accounts here and there as well at the same time. I think it's everyone's journey in a way, where when they're first introduced to trading, they think that they can, turn from $100 to $1 million
Yeah.
in a couple of months or weeks, right? And I think everybody has that mindset. I was certainly one of them as well, but you learn through the hard ways. And yeah, I kind of jumped through many different strategies and hoops, challenges, and then about 6 years ago, when because I was working at the same time, so trying to balance working full time, trading was a little bit challenging. But about 6 years ago, I started trading properly live, I would say, when I finally got a little bit of consistency. And then ever since, I've traded longer term time frames. And fast forward to now, I'm trying to trade on the more shorter time frames.
Yeah.
So that's kind of been my journey over the past 6 to 10 years, I'd say.
Yeah, 100% agree with what you said, because I think every trader who has been in the game for longer must definitely blow up some accounts. So it's a part of every trader journey, I would say. And of course, I remember me when you were talking about putting $100 as a deposit and then just trying to make a lot of money out of it. I also had this spreadsheet where I was trying to calculate with the compounding how many trades do I need to win to get to 100K with like a $300 deposit. So I think every trader has this sort of a mindset from the start that you can make extraordinary money with not much of a deposit from the start, but after the years you realize that this is a long-term game. This is not just
Yeah,
something that you're gonna.
it's funny you say that, because I remember in the early days, I did the exact same thing. So I went on like an Excel
Yeah.
spreadsheet and I put down £1,000 or dollars or whatever, and then I done a compounding calculator of if I was to make
Yeah.
5% a day, in 6 months' time I'd be, living on an island by myself somewhere, right? Um, but then reality really, really kicked in, and fast forward to now, it's like if I was to make 5% in a day, I mean,
Mhm.
you're
Yeah.
laughing, aren't you? I mean, even if you were to make 5% in a month, it's more than amazing. But it's crazy how you learn the hard way, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Now, after 10 years, usually just laugh at what I was used to do. Like back then, not even calculating any losses. In my spreadsheet, there was all wins, and I thought it's going to go this way. Now, when I
Yeah.
remember these times when I was 18, trying to like really figure it out, how I'm going to make the money, it's laughable from the standpoint where I'm right now. Actually, what was the thing that drew you into the markets? Why you wanted to become a trader in the first place? Was it the money or was it something else?
I mean, the money, absolutely, but I think as time went along, the thing that drew me more to trading was just helping myself, buy myself some time. because going from university and then working full time, you're stuck to your 9 to 5, 9 to 6
Hmm.
hours, and you spend another hour or two just commuting. And if you live in London, you probably know what I'm talking about, where everybody's lives just revolves around work, right? And as I was getting older, and I had trading on the side as well. I knew that trading would give me that work and life balance. It would
Hmm.
allow me to not work full time as much. It would just give me more time with my family and friends as well. And I think the lifestyle, and I'm not talking about living a lavish lifestyle with Ferraris and yachts everywhere, but just in the sense of having more time to yourself rather than being stuck to a 9 to 5 for the rest of your life. And for me, that was one of the main reasons why I decided to pursue trading.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't want to say it gets easier, but your understanding of trading becomes a lot better as you go along with it. Because, like we discussed, when you're initially introduced to it, you think, wow, I can become a millionaire in a couple of months' time. But as you realize as you go along the journey, it's small gains, but
Hmm.
in the long term, it compounds. And of course, you can make a lot more as time goes along. But yeah, I mean, for myself, just knowing that trading can give me a better work and life balance was probably the main thing that attracted me more to trading.
Yeah, most definitely. I think for me it was the same pretty much because from the very start everyone is just amazed with the opportunities that trading provides. Like you see it all over the media, the lifestyle of traders. Of course, that now these days most of the people know that it's not actually the true, but
Mhm.
the lifestyle is this: being a trader, having more time, as you said, for the family, or not being attached to the 9 to 5 job is actually something that traders these days value even more. You know, you don't have to you're your own basically boss when it comes to time, when it comes to how much
Exactly.
you want
Yeah.
to give to the market. So that's a really nice thing about being a trader, I
Yeah.
would
And
say.
it gives you a lot of opportunities outside of trading as well, because you don't, I mean, as a trader, everyone's got this fixation of, a day trader's constantly in front of their charts from 6 in the morning till like 6 in the afternoon or whatever, right? But in reality, like, you don't necessarily have to trade that way.
Hmm.
There's people out there that trade like the daily time frame, for example, and
Hmm.
you'd only spend maybe about 10, 20 minutes on the charts a day, if that sometimes. When I started becoming more consistently profitable, I mean, I was trading the dailies, the 12-hour time frames, so really high time frames, and I would literally need only about 10, 20 minutes a day just to check the
Hmm.
chart, see what's going on. But this was while I was working full time. So even to be a trader, you don't necessarily have to spend hours and hours every single day in front of charts. It gives you time to do other things in your life, hobbies and things like that, and it's quite important for myself. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there something actually because most of the traders, when they get into trading, most of them they have 9 to 5. If you're younger, you may be studying university, but I also was this recommending it a lot when I'm speaking to local people who want to be traders. Just keep your
Mhm.
9 to 5 and slowly build yourself. However, then a lot of people find it really difficult to be doing 9 to 5 at the same time trading because it's a big industry. You need to get a lot of knowledge. You need to learn a lot. Is there some tips that you would provide to traders who are now struggling having 9 to 5 at the same time, trying to become a traders? So, is there something that you've seen along the way, your journey, that actually helped you come
Yeah.
across this challenge?
Yeah. I mean, one of the most important things I'd say is, I mean, if you've got a full-time 9 to 5 job, um, definitely try and concentrate on the higher time frames,
Hmm.
maybe the 4 hour plus time frames, because if you're trading a strategy where um, it's on the higher time frames, you don't necessarily have to be in front of the charts all the time.
Yeah.
And if you are trading, for example, say the 4 hour time frame, you probably only have to check the markets every 4 hours or so. And if you're
Hmm.
working at a 9 to 5 job, you could literally just check the charts, maybe at lunchtime, for example, during your break, right? Because it doesn't take that much
Yeah.
time. But I think a lot of people, they try and do scalping strategies and things like this. And if you're working a 9 to 5, it's extremely, extremely difficult to do that. Because if you're trading 15-minute, 5-minute, or 1-minute charts, I mean, you literally have to be glued to your screen, right?
Mhm.
And if you're working 9 to 5, you're gonna have many distractions, and and then your trading psychology takes a hit as well. So I mean, I'd say if you're trying to balance a full-time work or a full-time job with trading, definitely try and concentrate on the higher time frames because it's a lot less stressful, and you don't need that much time in front of your charts. The other thing you can do is trade after work as well. Depending on where you are in the world, the markets still move after 5 o'clock or after 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
But again, that brings its own slight challenges as well because you've only got a few hours before spread hour and the close of play, right? So there's a few things to juggle, but I think for myself, from my experience, the most important thing would be to concentrate on the higher time frames.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in line. I'm a swing trader myself, so I think I went through the scalping, day trading, and swing trading, and I think that the swing trade at the same time is, I would say, probably the least stressful. When you compare it to scalping, day trading, when you're floating profit loss, just jumping in upside down, you see 2Gs in a profit, then 5 minutes later you see a grand in a loss. And in swing trading, if you, as you said, if you focus on the higher time frames, I think it's more stable. At the same time, you're waiting for the position. So when it comes to working, it's actually probably the best thing you can do. Yeah, and I know a lot of successful swing traders, and in my view, just to go step further, I think that most successful traders in the world are either scalpers or swing traders. At least what I've seen regarding the studies that brokers every year, almost every year, show to the public. Then out of the 10%, because 90% of traders fail, out of the 10%, most of the traders are either swing traders or scalpers. When it comes to you specifically, are you a swing trader or are you a day trader?
Yeah, so as I was mentioning earlier, so I was a swing trader.
Oh yeah.
So I was a swing trader initially. So when I first started being a lot more consistently profitable, um, I was trading like the daily time frames, the 12-hour time
Mhm.
frames, even the 8 hour sometimes. And as you can imagine, on those charts, the market seems to move very slowly, right? So you don't have to spend as much time with the screens or in front of the charts. But fast forward to now, I am trying to move over more to day trading. Same similar strategy, but it's just more trading on like the lower time frames.
Yeah.
Because one thing is with like swing trading, so when I did used to trade like the dailies and the 12 hours, trades could last for sometimes more than a week, sometimes even
Mhm.
2 weeks, depending on your strategy, of course.
Yeah.
And I kind of not frustrated, but for myself, I was thinking I need to be in and out of trades a little bit quicker than this because when you do have trades that run for over a week or 2 weeks, and then it comes back to break even or hits a stop loss, it can be a bit frustrating because you've waited for so long and then the trade doesn't work out in your favor. But I wanted to move over to more to um, shorter time frames, just so I can be in and out of the market a lot quicker. So that's something that I'm working on as of right now. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Guys, I'm just going to, I was checking the chat as well. There's a lot of good questions. We will get to them at the very end of the stream, but keep
Mhm.
going. We already saw many questions, so I think this might be longer than I expected, but
Mhm.
we'll see eventually how much time you have. My another question still within like this mindset psychology, because I've seen a couple of questions. Apart from having 9 to 5, as we've discussed, and trying to be a trader, what other challenges you personally had to overcome on your journey to be where are you right now?
Yeah, I mean, psychologically, it was very difficult and very challenging,
Mhm.
initially, especially because I think one of the things with new traders is it's the expectations that kills everyone, right?
Mhm.
Where you think you can make a lot of money people follow Instagram trading gurus and all these people, and they think that oh, I can drive a Ferrari tomorrow as well. But it's for me, it was the expectations initially that was really destroying my progress. And working in the psychology for me, it was probably like the biggest transformation. Um, And one of the things actually, which from reading things like Trading in the Zone, the light bulb moment for me was when I zoomed out of my trading journal and I judged my trading journal based on batches of 20 trades.
Hmm.
So rather than thinking of the last couple of trades, I would zoom out and look at the last 20 trades and then see, am I following my process and am I profitable? And what I started to realize was actually taking every 20 trades, I'm actually profitable, because
Yeah.
psychologically it helps a lot. When people have 2 3 losing trades in a row, they only think of the last most recent trades and they go into like a spiral, right? However, when you zoom out of those results and look at it from 20 trades, 30 trades, or over the month or two and see what your results are, you notice actually I'm actually profitable, And the other thing that helped me a lot was just on my trading journal, just make another separate column and just say, did I follow my plan? Um, Following your plan is way more important than the actual result itself. And what you tend to realize is when you're disciplined and when you stick to your rules, results will come naturally, because the process is the most important part of trading, not the actual results.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they get too fixated on the actual result of any single given trade. But if you follow your process, so if you took 20 trades and followed your strategy and your process perfectly, by the end of 20 trades, 30 trades, you'll actually notice, hold on a minute, I'm actually profitable. I don't need to worry about the random losses or losing streaks that I have within those trades, right? So,
Hmm.
you know, I mean, those are some of the barriers that I was facing, and those are some of the things that I did myself to overcome those psychological barriers. But I'd always say working in the psychology is the most important thing you can do by far.
Yeah, I mean it's fascinating because a lot of traders still don't believe that journaling is important. I like you that you've mentioned the journaling itself. Someone actually said it in the comment section or in live chat. I wanted to bring this in. How do you journal? Because there's a lot of ways, of course. It used to be on a paper. Now we've got a lot of software. What is your preference when it comes to journaling? To
Yeah.
keep it old school or on a paper, or do you use the software?
No, I use Google Sheets. I use
Okay.
Google Sheets, or I mean, you can use an Excel spreadsheet as well.
Hmm.
But it's a simple spreadsheet, and it's nothing complicated. Honestly, it's very basic data. So the date, the time of the trade, what currency pair, for example, is it a buy or sell trade, and then depending on the strategies or what strategy you're trading, what parameters you got. So is it at a strong SNR level or whatever it might be, because everybody's got different strategies. But it's very simple data that you're collecting, and then is it a win? Is it a loss? How much risk to reward you made on that specific trade, and then literally I've got a column that says, did I follow my plan? And it's
Hmm.
simply a yes or no. And then just to the side of that, I've got another column for notes. So if there's any notes that I want to make for that specific trade. And then the last column would literally just be a screenshot column. So at the end of the
Yeah.
trade, regardless of whether it's a win or a loss, just take a screenshot, and then put that screenshot onto your spreadsheet. Um, that's all it is really. It's nothing
Yeah.
too fancy, nothing too complicated. And then what you tend to notice, when you do have a bunch of trades, hundreds of trades or whatever, you start to find small little patterns within your
Mhm.
trading. So you might notice things like, oh, I'm more profitable on Mondays or Tuesdays, or I'm not as profitable on Wednesdays, for example. You might notice things like I'm more profitable on CAD pairs, for example, or yeah, you start the more data you collect, the more patterns you see within your trading, and it's very important to journal. It's very, very important.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you can be a consistently profitable trader without journaling properly.
Are you
It's very
still
important.
are you still journaling after 6 years? Is that still a part of your routine? You wake up, you go to the chart, you still have that journal and watching or analyzing yourself, your performance on that journal, right?
Yeah, even after 6 years, it's something that I didn't do before trading consistently profitably. I wasn't journaling as I should have,
Mhm.
and you can't. I mean, I've come across people that say, oh, they don't journal, they just spot trades. But if that's the case, then how are you tracking your progress? There's no tracking, right? So it's very important to know your results. And without the journaling on a spreadsheet or even on paper, you can't really judge your results because then you're
Mhm.
just guessing everything, right? And people concentrate too much on the P&L. But when you have your journal, it keeps you disciplined. You can track your mistakes. And like I said, as you build up more data and you take more trades, it gives you a lot of insight into your own
Yeah.
trading. So it's very important to journal. I know there's like journaling softwares that you can use online these days that automate journaling for you as well.
Mhm.
Um, I've used those before as well, but at the same time, I like to have my own journal that I can track myself. Just gives me a bit more control.
Yeah, understand, and 100% agree on the journaling. Me personally, I use software for that, but whatever you use, even if you're using a piece of paper, guys, try it, and don't just. I would say don't just do it because you heard it's good, but then also the self-reflection. So go and analyze what you were actually doing, not just having it somewhere and that never use it. Right? You need to
Yeah,
work with
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
I was thinking about my other questions, but as the questions in the chat are just pouring in, I thought we can take some that
Hmm.
are within the topics we are talking about. I kind of like this question from the very start, and I'm gonna bring it on the screen. The guy said, "What was the turning point in your trading journey? Like the point? I guess it's based on the profitability. I mean, I'm guessing, where you
Yeah.
saw first profit spotting in when you said, okay, I'm almost there.
Yeah. No, my turning point was literally. I mean, we were just speaking about the trading journal, right? But
Mhm.
when
Yeah.
I when I zoomed out of my trading and I started judging my trading based on batches of 20 trades, for me, that was the turning point. That was the exact turning point because I stopped worrying about the losses because because when I saw my trading journal, after every 20 trades, I was profitable, right? So when I was getting losing streaks or big losses or whatever it is, I knew that if I just stuck to my plan, at the end of those 20 trades, I'll most likely be in profit. Even if it's just a small profit, it doesn't really matter, but I wasn't losing out on any money.
Mhm.
Um, and that was quite literally the turning point for myself. But I'd always advise just consistently work on your psychology. Watch videos, read books. Um, you know, just work on your psychology, man. It's
Yeah.
really really important. I mean, I can't really stress it enough because when I first started trading, it was always about technical indicators and this strategy and jumping from another strategy and
Exactly.
EMAs and all these moving averages, right? And it's fine and it can help. But that one point of the trading journal and judging my trades based off batches of 20, um, that for me, that was the light bulb moment.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you mentioned that, especially learning the psychology. And as you said, 100% agree. Most traders are interested in watching different strategies because they still don't trust their strategy. So I would say that most of the videos that are on YouTube, the successful ones, are mostly about the strategy, but not everyone is going on YouTube or on internet to learn about psychology, about risk management, those other aspects that are as important as the strategy. Because when you prefer the strategy, it's something that you do first 30 minutes, 1 hour in front of your screen. You're analyzing the market, but the rest of the time, it's more about how you behave, your psychology. So you wouldn't really underestimate that in your trading.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
with
I
that,
mean, one,
someone
one
actually, sorry.
yeah. Well, no, so one thing I would add on to that as well, because like I mentioned previously, people have this thing about trading where you're stuck in front of your charts and you have six different screens all around you and you're analyzing so much things, right?
Mhm.
Um, but one of the best things anyone could do, and you might agree or disagree with me, but stepping away from the charts is probably like the best thing you can do. Because like I said, when you're analyzing the charts, it's either you see a setup or you don't, you know. And if you don't see a setup, you literally just walk away from the charts, come back later on. Um, and I found in myself that stepping away from the charts can help you a lot, not just from a technical standpoint where you're analyzing charts, but can also help you like psychologically because it stops you from making mistakes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
but yeah, that's
definitely.
important. Yeah.
We've discussed this topic actually last time with Joshua, where he has the system whenever there is no setup or where there is a setup. Actually, when he opens a trade, he had the setup, he had a stop loss. So setup or trade is in, so he closes the laptop, he walks away, and the same he does when there is no setup. And I think that it's important to highlight that traders need to have some sort of a hobby or something apart from trading, because most of the traders, they get into the trading industry and they're thinking of, okay, if I'm not going to give trading 110%, I'm not going to be a good trader. And then they fall into this trap that they are just overwhelmed. Everything is about trading in their life. And if you have nothing outside of it, then the trading is going to punish you for that, I believe, at least. So for me, finding also some hobbies or something I can do outside of trading was really important. Do you have something like this? Do you have a hobby that you turn to when you don't see a setup or where you just close the
Yeah.
laptop? Do you have
Yeah.
anything?
Yeah. I mean, I like to stay active in general. So just going out for a run or going to the gym. I play quite a bit of football myself as well. So I'm quite active in that sense. So I just like to, if I'm not trading, I like to just
Mhm.
stay active and just keeping taking care of your health as well
Yeah.
helps you with trading because it gives you a bit more of a clearer mindset, right? So those are some of the things I would do outside of trading. But one of the other things I would do, if there's no setup, I would just grab some trading books, read a couple of pages, just to get me away from the charts. So even though I'm away from the charts, I'm still improving myself in a way.
Mhm.
So reading different books. But in terms of other hobbies, I mean, yeah, I might watch something on TV or jump on some PlayStation or whatever it might be, um, or just spend some time with the family and kids. To be fair, um, just to get me away from the screens. It's not always about trading. Helps you with other things in life, right? It
Mhm.
gives you more time to do the things that you enjoy. So
Exactly.
when there is I mean, today's a perfect example. It's quite a heavy news day, right? With the
Mhm.
USD and the CAD. So those kind of days, and there might be setups forming, but there's major news coming up, so you might get spiked out. But that shouldn't be a bad thing because that gives you a reason to close your laptop or turn off your PC and just go do things that you enjoy, right? So it's not always a bad thing if there's no setups. It gives you time to do the things that you enjoy. So those are some of the things that I like to do outside of trading.
Yeah. Yeah, about because we were speaking about getting yourself overwhelmed with all of that knowledge, all of the insights that you need to get as a trader when you get into trading industry. And someone actually commented with, "Where did you learn your trading?" So I guess we can also bring some more related topics as of where would you start now knowing nothing about trading, and you are basically your teacher. So what would you advise yourself on the very start of the journey? You can be specific if you have any
Yeah.
specific examples of what would you do.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I would kind of stay away from jumping from strategy to strategy. That's number one,
Mhm.
right? I would always advise try find yourself a trading community. So when I first initially started, it was actually one of my friends and my brother that actually introduced me to trading. So they got sent some. It was some company back in the day that used to teach people trading, and so we joined the webinars of this company. I can't
Mhm.
remember the name of the company. I don't think they exist anymore. But that's how I initially got into trading. And I would always say to anyone who's entering trading is to find yourself a community, a reliable community
Mhm.
where you can trade with other people, learn from other people. Um, and during my early days as well, I used to use Baby Pips a lot as well. So babypips.com.
Yeah.
They've got like a crap load of free information on trading. I'm not sure how it is right now because they might have some paid subscriptions and things like this, but you can find a lot of information on there on technical analysis, fundamental analysis, and it's all free. I would avoid paying for any sort of signals or paying extraordinary amounts for somebody's trading strategy or anything like that. There's a lot of free information on the internet, and you just got to find the right place to look. But I would definitely, if I was to redo this whole process again,
Mhm.
I would definitely get involved in some form of trading community, so I can learn from people that know what they're doing. Um, if you have money to spend on a trading mentor, then maybe you can find a trading mentor to walk you through everything. Maybe that's another opportunity. That's another route that people can go under. But those are some of the things that I would do myself. But I would be a bit careful with things like, because there's a lot of fluff on YouTube, for example. There's a lot of good things on there as well. Um, and it's a bit tricky because unless you've been in trading for a long time, it's maybe hard. It's hard to distinguish the good stuff from the nonsense, right? Um,
Mhm.
but I feel like if you can get yourself part of a trading community, um, that's probably one of the best things you can do early on.
Yeah, that's also with the trading community, completely agree because I have quite a few communities when I was starting out, and I think that people within the communities are real, apart from, let's say, the gurus or the mentors, which are not always really straightforward. While the
Yeah.
strangers within the community, they will tell you, I tried the strategy,
Yeah.
it's nonsense, or they will be very straightforward with you. But when it
Yeah.
comes to the topic of getting, yeah, you wanted to touch on
Yeah.
that,
No.
or
So yeah. No. Just to touch communities as well. Because you can find like, I mean, I used to be part of like Facebook groups, for example, or trading
Mhm.
communities, and people saying, "Oh, I made this much money, that much money," and I'm not necessarily talking about those kind of communities, because there are trading groups and communities that are genuine traders that know what they're
Yeah.
doing, right? But again, similar to YouTube, there's a lot of scammers, there's a lot of fluff out there, and it's quite. And I'm sure you might agree with me. Unless you've been trading for a number of years, it's probably a little bit hard to distinguish the
Yeah.
fluff from the good stuff, right? Um, and I think that kind of comes with experience. But I just feel like if you can learn from somebody, it's probably the best way to go around it. But finding that reliable person within the trading world, it can be a bit difficult because there's a lot of scam artists out there as well.
Yeah, definitely. It comes with an experience because
Yeah.
when I was starting out, there was basically I think it was a video article that got me into trading of sharing the strategy. A random truck driver managed to make millions out of this strategy. So yeah, I was caught. I was caught on the study. I was caught on how it looked. So and eventually it was total nonsense. So definitely, there's a lot of good stuff on the YouTube, on the internet, generally speaking, and a lot of bad stuff. But the big topic that we actually didn't finish on the last stream with a different trader, Josh, was is having a mentor or a teacher, a paid one. Is it a good thing in your view? Would you, if you'd had the money to spend on mentor, would you do that on the start of your journey?
If I had the money when I was at university, and I had to redo it all again, then I
Yeah.
would probably look for, if I had the money to just throw away,
Mhm.
right? Um, I probably would get a training mentor. I probably would.
Mhm.
I think if you have someone that's been in the markets for, let's just say 10, 15 plus years, and they know what they're doing, they know how to set your expectations, they can help you with journaling, things like that, I think can go a long way, and it probably fast forwards your progress. I mean, with my journey, because I was flipping from YouTube videos to different trading communities and things like this, and it's s- stops your progress in a way, when you're flipping and from different strategies and different communities and whatnot. But if you have somebody to hold your hand and guide you through all the processes, I think it can definitely speed up the process. But again, it's up to the individual trader to do their due diligence on the trading mentor, right? Because you want to make sure whoever's going to be mentoring you, they're profitable, they know what they're doing, they've actually been in the markets for a long time, rather than somebody saying, I can make you £1 million in 2 weeks, and then, you go pay them X amount of money. So I would recommend mentors, but it's everyone's got their own individual journeys, and I don't think every two journeys are the same. I think everybody kind of goes their own route, don't they? Um, but yeah, uh, having a trading mentor can definitely help.
Yeah. Uh, I guess I agree in a certain proportion. I mean, myself, I have learned everything without a mentor, but I would say that probably if I had a mentor, maybe the time window on my learning curve would be like half of it. So probably sometimes can handy, but with how much stuff was in on the internet, how many mentors, it's actually quite hard to find a decent one. What would you look for, just theoretically, when you'd be looking forward to yourself in a university, knowing what you know now, looking for the mentor? What would be the characteristics? I mean, longevity of the mentor, like how long he's been in the game, or
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely how much experience they have within the markets,
mhm,
knowing and seeing some sort of proof that they're actually profitable. Some
mhm,
people have things like they'll have their accounts connected to myfxbook.com, for example, where people can see their progress and their gains and things like this. But I would definitely do a lot of due diligence on the mentor and see, okay, does he have a good number of experience within the market? Are they profitable? And are there any other people within the internet who have used this mentor before? So just maybe look for reviews or just see what other people have to say about the mentor and if they're actually good or not. Because, like I said, the last thing you want to do is give a scammer your money and they're selling you dreams about, making you a millionaire tomorrow. So,
mhm.
yeah, always do your due diligence, but not just with mentors, even with trading communities or anything they find on the internet. I mean, the internet's such a vast place of so much stuff. It's very important, no matter what path you go down. Always, always, always do your due diligence on these people.
Yeah, I think we're going to stay within the topics of the chat because I really like that questions, and I had my list of questions that I was trying to create before the live stream when I was reviewing your trades, because you got a couple of payouts from Audacity as well, being profitable. So maybe there's a good question. Let me just bring it on the screen. Here it is. What mental challenges still affects your trading today, even after becoming profitable? Which is quite a nice question. I haven't
Mhm.
seen anything like that. So, because traders usually trying to figure out what to do when they're not profitable, but also there's really important period once you become profitable, you're going to be still dealing with some challenges daily, weekly basis. So, is there something that you see in your journey currently of a profitable trader? And
Yeah,
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 what
yeah,
is
yeah.
it?
I mean, even though people are, even though myself and I'm sure yourself or even others that are profitable traders, right? They still go through many, many psychological and mental challenges. Honestly, and it's things that you want to carry on working on. But I mean, one of the challenges, I mean, I still face, not to the same extent as my earlier days, but even to this day, I mean, I still sometimes struggle with FOMO, for example.
Mhm,
So, for example, if let's just say I've got a Euro USD trade in at the moment, right? And then I see another setup on another USD pair, um, I might say to myself, oh, let me take that trade as well. But in the back of my mind, I know I'm probably risking double the amount now because it's exposure, right? I'm exposing too much money to the USD pairs. And sometimes FOMO will get the better of me and I'll say, oh, let
mhm.
me take the second USD trade as well. And then the trade turns around and it goes against me and it hits my stop loss. And then I've lost double the risk, as opposed to if I would have just kept one position open. Um, so I mean, I still struggle. I mean, I don't think that any profitable trader doesn't go through challenges. Still, there's still various challenges that profitable traders go through. We're not, profitable traders aren't superhuman. Uh,
Yeah.
they still make mistakes. And even during your technical analysis, you probably will make mistakes here and there as well. It's just that the longer you go on, the better you become at
Yeah.
analyzing and things processing the mind a lot quicker. But you still make mistakes. At the end of the day, we're all human. It's an emotional game. It's a psychological game, and you will still make mistakes here and there. I still make mistakes here and there, but it's just that you want to make sure that the amount of mistakes you made is a lot lower than you know
Exactly.
than before. But so it's all about improving yourself. Yeah.
I think it's that's the note, the frequency, because when I'm now just trying to think of the mistakes that I do now and the mistakes that I used to do on the very start of my journey, it's basically pretty much the same mistakes. It's not just I'm not just making them as often and as I was used to. I'd say fear of missing out, revenge trading. I do
Yeah.
at the same time. I sometimes do revenge trading, not that often that I was 10 years ago, but still when I'm mad about markets because it was losing streak and already third position in a loss, then sometimes I do something that is not smart and I do the revenge trading. But you said it right. With experiences, with how long you've been trading, you already seen yourself doing the wrong thing multiple times. So it's already somewhere in your brain built that you know how this is going to end up, so you're not going to do it. Sometimes you slip and you do it
Yeah.
anyway, but most of the time you've seen the scenario and you're not going to do it again because you've lived through that already. So
Exactly. And this kind of connects back to when we were talking about the trading journal, right? Is because when you do have all the trades in front of you and you've got that column that says, did I follow my plan? And then you've got the notes section. After 20 trades or however many trades, you can look back at it and say, oh, I made 4 mistakes where I took revenge trades or I took another 2 or 3 FOMO trades. And then after 20 trades, you can say to yourself, well, actually, if I didn't make those mistakes, I would have been way more in profit for the month. And this is why the journal, to reflect back on your mistakes, is so important, because it
yeah.
all connects together.
Yeah, 100% agree. Here's another really nice question. I'm going to put it out on the screen. So, as a trader, what kind of a mindset you need to be more profitable, which can be taken from multiple angles, and as well, will trading give you freedom to live? Maybe we can start with the second one. Did actually trading give you the freedom to live? Are you in a good
Yeah.
place in your life as a trader?
Yeah. I mean, I'm still working on my accounts with Audacity, of course. I'm still working on my own personal accounts. I mean, yeah, overall, I'd say I am in a good place simply because I can see that from judging my results on a monthly basis, and like I said previously, zooming out of your results and judging the trades off of large amounts, you can notice that your equity curve is going up, right? So overall, I'd say it will give me freedom to, do the things I enjoy in life, rather than being stuck to a 9 to 5. But yeah, overall, I'd say it will give me more freedom as time goes along as well.
Yeah, I like that answer. A humble answer, not like having a good. That's why I like these chats when it's actually trader to trader and not mental influence as a trader, because usually the answers get way different and more motivational. But like you're being humble really a lot. With the next question, and I think we're going to be just going back and forth between education and kind of a mindset. Hope you don't mind. But what do you
That's
focus
okay.
more on? Psychology,
Mhm.
risk management strategy, which is a topic that we were trying to break down many times on these streams. And also we were trying to figure out what was first, if it's risk management or strategy, which is like what was first, chicken or egg. And we couldn't really find a common ground on this topic. For you, out of these three, how would you let's do it? How would you separate it percentage-wise? So you've got 100% of those three, and would you
Yeah.
say like strategy is 30%, 40%, and then the risk
Mm.
management, psychology? How would you differentiate these three?
Yeah, that's a good question, to be fair. So I think, I mean, from my journey, a lot of time initially was spent on strategy, and I think everybody's time is spent a lot
Hmm.
on strategy as they're learning trading, um, and they all go hand in hand, right? So your psychology complements your strategy complements, your risk management complements your psychology. It's like a triangle; they all complement each other.
Yeah.
Um, what to focus on more? I would. So what to focus on more? I'd say 33% each. So literally a third, a third, a third,
Equal.
right?
All
Yeah,
right.
equally. Yeah, I'd say focus on them equally. In terms of importance, I would definitely say psychology takes a massive part of it, probably 70% psychology, 20% risk management, and 10% strategy. That's in terms of the importance, but that's not to
Mhm.
say you should spend more time on over the
Yeah,
other.
yeah, of course.
I think you should spend an equal amount of time on all three of those. But in terms of importance, psychology definitely the most important. But
Yeah.
that's not to say risk management or your strategy isn't important as well. And I think one of the things that's quite important, and what you realize as in anyone's trading journey, people spend a lot of time on the strategy, especially at the early stages, which is perfectly fine. But as you trade your strategy, as you back test, as you forward test, as you live trade, and you've got hundreds and hundreds of trades, you probably spend less time on the strategy as time goes
Mhm.
along, because the more experience you gain, the less you actually have to spend learning a strategy, the less time you actually have to spend in front of the charts. Because in most strategies, right, as soon as you open up a chart and you look at it for a couple of seconds, just the setup normally sticks out within a few seconds. Do you know? It's
Yeah.
you just become a lot better and a lot more efficient at your strategy. But again, that comes with experience. It comes with experience. So the more experience you gain, you'd probably find that you spend less and less time on your strategy, and you probably spend a lot more time on your psychology. But I think that's kind of the journey that most people go through when they first start off.
Yeah, me looking at myself 8, 10 years ago, I would say probably 90% is strategy, because that was all I was caring back then. But these days, I would switch it over. Just like you said, for me personally, it would be also psychology in the first place, because it's something, once you figure the strategy, it basically, as you said, becomes a minority in like the proportion of the three, and the psychology really takes over, because it's something you deal with every day. The strategy becomes your routine, basically, or at least for me, when I'm trading, I'm doing it like a routine when it comes to strategy. But psychology, sometimes throughout the life and your trading journey, you deal with different situations, so the psychology always changes, and there
Yeah,
are new things popping up in your life. So it's hard to deal with, because strategy is fixed most of the time for most traders, while the others can change a lot. So
exactly. No, you're right. You're right.
yeah. Okay, so let me see if I'll have. Oh, there's a lot of questions. I think how much we have? Oh, we have already 50 minutes. Okay,
Mhm.
guys. I think we can do one more last time. If you have time for one more.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah. All right. So
Yeah, yeah.
let me see. This is a good question. Let me do probably voice because trade. There was a question which I think I saw last time as well, and
Mhm.
it's a bit more specific, but I would like to hear your take on it. Someone asked, "How do you handle losing streaks without changing your strategy?" I would probably phrase it more generally, because losing streak is like one of the things that traders probably struggle the most. We wouldn't see that otherwise 90% of retail traders losing their accounts or losing the deposit brokers. So how do you personally manage that? You run into losing streak, or what is your secret on this?
Yeah. So it's the acceptance of. So you have to accept as a trader, losing streaks are inevitable.
Mhm.
So trading's one of the most important things when it comes to trading is you need to look at it from a probabilistic mindset. It's a game of probabilities. In any game of probability, there's always going to be losing streaks. You can look at any game that includes probabilities. Losing streaks are perfectly normal, right? The most important thing is making sure within that losing streak, analyzing your trades and making sure that you follow the plan. If you follow the plan, if you follow the strategy and you didn't deviate from your plan, give yourself a pat on the back. The losing
Mhm.
streak is perfectly normal. But if you look back at your losing streak, and you realize, oh, I made this mistake and I made that mistake, that's also a good thing in a way, because it helps you learn from your mistakes. And you can clearly see, okay, this is what I'm going to do next time, right? But having accepting that losing streaks are normal within trading, it's probably the most important thing. And once you've accepted that, and you've made sure that you've always followed your process, what you'll realize is at the end of it all, you'll probably still be profitable despite the losing streaks. And again, come back to journaling and back testing. So one of the things I would always recommend anyone, any strategy you learn, make sure you do maybe 200-300 plus back tests. It's extremely important, because if you back test, say, over 300 trades, right? And I know it sounds like a lot, but it's extremely important for you to have this data and this information. Number one, it helps you solidify the strategy, right? But at the same time, it helps you gain perspective of the strategy. And when you have, say, 300 back tests, you'll see a lot of losing streaks in those back testing, right? But if you look at your back test and you see, okay, I went on a 4 losing streak, 5 losing streak here, I went on a 6 losing streak here. So, even though your strategy is profitable, you can still see in your back testing that losing streaks are inevitable. So when you're trading live and you're going on losing streaks, you can say to yourself, okay, during my back testing, I saw that I was losing 4 trades in a row, 5 trades in a row, 6 trades in a row. And it helps you accept that this is perfectly normal within trading. So, I mean, these are some of the things that can help anyone when going to losing streaks. But again, just going back again, the most important thing is making sure that you followed your plan as well as you can.
For sure. For me, it's the same. It's natural phase of every trader's journey. So it's about acceptance, I would say. Generally speaking, just accepting it, learn how to accept it, and you live through it. As I would say.
That's not to say that it's easy. I mean, I don't want anyone to think that it's easy to just go through like 6 or 7 losing trades, because it is very difficult. But like I said, if you go on those losing streaks, and I've been on those losing streaks before as well. But like I said, the most important thing is ensuring all the time that you're following your plan.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, thank you so much, Lukeman, for all the insights provided today. I'm sorry that we can't do all of those questions, but if we would, I would probably be here tomorrow at the same time still, chatting about all the questions related to trading, because there's still something traders struggle with. But I believe that your insights really help some of the traders in the chat, which we do really appreciate. Thank you so much for being here, and I wish you best of the luck in your futures trading, either with us, Audacity, or in any of your futures individuals. So best of luck. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Jake, and thank you everyone for the questions. Appreciate it.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye-bye.
So guys, regarding the giveaway, let's do what we did last time, which is the Wheel of Names. So I hope you've enjoyed the stream with Lukeman. And now, just to do the $25,000 giveaway, I will need you to do literally the same what you did last time. So just go and not spam. Everyone, please, just one message. Not spamming 20 messages, because I need to make sure I've got all the people who are on the stream in my list. So do not spam that chat. Just send hi or any emoji, and I will share a screen in a second, and we will collectively just choose five winners for today's live stream. So give me a second. I'll be noting all the names with the software I'm using. So hopefully I won't miss anyone. Perfect. For the next one, I think I'm going to also implement some sort of a music in the background while I'm doing this before the Wheel of Names to make it more entertaining. Let's see, and I hope I've got everyone. Let me double check how many people are in the stream and are within the chat. So we have about 40 names. That seems to be correct, right? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Let me share the screen now. And let's take a look. By the way, guys, once again, really appreciate you sharing the questions for Lukeman. Okay, and let me bring all the names in here. Am I sharing the screen yet? No, not yet. So let me do that right now. Share the screen, entire screen. Here we've got the wheel of names. Let me change, oh, not this way. Let me make it bigger so you can see it. Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna double check if I have all of you guys, and we can go for the first spin. Yeah, that should be all, guys. So let's see. All right, ready for the first spin? Let me open the chat on the right side so I can see what you guys saying. And the first winner, let's see. Yeah, the music would be nice, wouldn't it? So the first one goes to Macro Salvatore. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Simply, Macro, congratulations. You're the first winner. By the way, if you see your name on the screen right now, just do a screenshot of your YouTube profile and send us the screenshot to Instagram, because we need to confirm this is the profile associated to you. And once we confirm that, we will provide you with the reward. So let's move on. That's the first one. Let's move on to the second one. And the second winner is, all right, it's Simolite. Yeah, let's call it Simolite. Congratulations, man. You're the second one. Let's move on. Let's spin the wheel of names again. And the third is Baba Divine. Congratulations. That's the third one. Don't worry, guys. I'm going to then remind all the winners once we choose all 5 of you. Now the fourth one, which is Kenya Texan. This is the fourth winner. Congratulations and best of luck for the last one, fifth. I'm going to spin the wheel one more time. And the last winner is Ishaku. The pronunciation is really bad, guys, I know, but I would probably Haku, maybe not. Those are the 5 winners. I'm going to show them on the screen. I'm not going to even try to pronounce it, or maybe I will. So first one is Macro, then Simolite, Baba Divine, Kenya Texan, and Isaku Peter. Okay, yeah, we can call it Peter. So you guys who are on the screen, congratulations. Once again, what you need to do a screenshot of your profile, send it to us, Audacity Capital, Instagram, and once we confirm it's actually your YouTube profile, you're the winner, then we will provide you with an account. I hope really that you have enjoyed today's stream. Strongly believe that Lukeman provided a lot of insights and we had a nice chat. Maybe in the future, after a couple of months, we can do it all over again, because in the chat asked so many questions. So I think we would be probably doing these streams every day and still didn't make to answer them all. Nevertheless, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you guys for support, and I'll see you very soon with another stream. Till then, take care. Keep crushing the markets. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye, guys.